This is Cutting Down the Nets, and the storm is here. It's March 10th. Keep saying it's calm before the storm. Storm's here. A lot of games all day, and then tomorrow it's going to be more of the same, and then the next day, and then the next day, leading up to the tournament. So this is March, as John Rothstein would say. So I am excited, and today is a large card. And it could get larger. That's what she said. 2-2 yesterday as we shake the middles today. No more 50%. We are coming. So here is the pool. And you'll notice the bright red. I am doing everything I can to stay away from Colgate. They've played 3 teams this year, each about 4 to 5 times. It's an insane schedule. I'm just going to ignore them. Hope they play as many different opponents as possible if they make the NCAA tournament. And Bucknell's not much better. This should be a fun game, though. High-paced. Should be a little wild there. So that, I don't know, might be fun to bet some overs or something on. All right, at the top. So the theme today, so you're aware, is the lines kept moving the wrong direction today. At conference tournament time, I'm not too concerned about that, but it is something to note. For instance, I liked NC State at the 1.5 they opened at, and now I'm getting 3. So I like them more, but it's how much stake do you put into the line movement. This time of year, I think we have more recreational bettors, and I think whatever way the lines move in, people just chase the steam. So I trust my process. I'm sticking with it. Live or die, man. Let's make it happen. So we'll end up with 10, and I want to monitor Fairfield and Monmouth, Rice and Marshall, and Georgetown Marquette. I think I saw a 3.5 out there. For Georgetown, I would like 4 there, and then I'd have to see some drastic movement in San Jose State or Duke. I've seen that movie before. A couple wild cards. So remaining on the schedule, games I'm not currently looking to bet, but at the bottom, we don't have lines yet on Long Beach or Poly as they advanced in their conference tournament, and I have not looked at the schedule. Maybe they go every other day. I don't know. Whatever. But it looks like point spread's around 10, so I don't know. Those teams are kind of outclassed by Santa Barbara and UCI. I'd like to see 6-ish or something to be able to bet on the favorites there. And I'd like to see 14s. To be able to bet our underdogs. So no idea where that will shape out and not something I'm actively tracking. Game number 1. NC State. Kevin Keats from UNC Wilmington. I've got him favored. I didn't massage too much stuff. Maybe it's a matchup problem. I mean, they don't have great shooters, but they should be able to rebound. Well, Kevin Keats is a good coach. Boeheim's a jerk. I don't know. I'll take the full possession there and ride with the Wolfpack. Oh! Let's go to our armed forces portion of the show, where I have Army by 7.5. Note, all of my information indicates that Army is at home. These conference tournament games are played at the higher seed, and Loyola Maryland beat Navy. So that puts Army as the higher seed. So I have them as a home game, and we'll take Army -2. New Orleans, when I capped this last night, it was 4.5. I was like, oh my gosh, why is it off so much? Whatever. I'm betting it, and it has gone to 6. So we are running out of value here. It could settle back down. That's a potential, but I would stop at anything above 6.5. We have had quite a few bets with old New Orleans as they play in a really, really bad conference and run into some awful teams. Going back to back to Pippen and Stackhouse. It's like an old NBA Jam game, only it's Stackhouse's coaching and it's Pippen's kids. So Vanderbilt, this line has crept towards Texas A&M, who's played 2 games since January. So have they knocked the rust off? Sure, but I'm not going to just assume that if they played in January, their profile would get stronger or worse. I'm using what's available, so some risk there is incomplete data, but I don't think that helps Texas A&M in any way, shape, or form. And Vandy's just one of those teams that's a little better um, in terms of efficiency than the record shows. Next game on the card, back to the Roadrunners. Got them at 9.7. They play the Charlotte 49ers, and we will be on the UTSA Roadrunners down in San Antonio. Next up, this is what betting on Air Force is like. They're not very good, but UNLV is going in the wrong direction, and I think the market is overvaluing UNLV as they continue to slide a little bit. So this is just enough points for me. I've played against UNLV with teams far worse than Air Force, and we'll take the 12 points today. Divine is back one more time. Nebraska ball, one more. Give us one. You've been so good to us. And again, it's a team that's just a little better than record indicates or perception indicates. Although Penn State kind of falls in that category too. You'll look at their efficiencies though, and these are similar teams. So getting more than 2 possessions feels nice to me. We will go with Patino, who has not played many games, I would note, but this looks like a favorable spot against Siena. Iona is currently a 1.5 point favorite, and I like them to advance past Siena. This card is huge. How many games are left? There's still a couple more. Lamar draws Houston Baptist, who finally ended our incarnate word misery. You'll notice the profiles here. This is a offensive advantage for Lamar. The line is somewhat fair. I was hoping for maybe 4 or something like that, but I've got them at 9.4, so would play this up to 6. Final game on the card, the team with the shot that was almost the greatest shot ever made in an NCAA tournament championship game. Oh, it's frustrating. So this one has crept into my zone. I believe it opened at 5.5 or 6. And now that it's at 7, I will play on Butler. That's the thing. These things can move into your range and out of your range. But if you had a number worse than the hook and 2 possessions, I would likely stay away. So I locked in a 7 on Butler once I saw it move that high for me. Tomorrow's card could be bigger. The rest of the conferences kind of get ramped up. Some of them are playing their low seeds today, as you've seen on this card, but we'll get the Big 12 kind of in full swing, Big 10 in full swing, Pac-12 in full swing. So instead of 2 games, those conferences will be playing 4. Should be a fun close to the season as we try to beat 52.4% for the year going into March Madness. That's the goal. Let's hope today gets us on track. Thanks for stopping by, cutting down the nets.